everyone, my name is Naturalist Natalie, and I'm so glad that you could join us for Bird is the Word. Today we will press pause on our busy days to take a stroll through our Medina County parks in search of temporary feathered visitors better known as migratory birds.
Every year, a few billion birds move north to their summer breeding grounds. As the seasons change, so do the resources available to birds and even their needs. Some will travel as far as thousands of miles to reach their summer homes. Some will be arriving at their summer homes when they reach Medina County. Others will only visit Medina briefly as they pause to rest and refuel on their long journey north. Every day brings the potential for different bird observations this time of year. I wonder what birds we'll see today. Look, over there, a ruby-throated hummingbird. These less than 1 ounce little emerald green birds can appear to be nothing more than a blur as they dart from flower to flower. They can also hover in place as they can beat their wings a few dozen times per second. Down there, in the grass, an American woodcock. Also known by names like timberdoodle, this shorebird seemingly defies logic as it inhabits fields and forests, using its cryptic coloration for camouflage as it bobs along the ground. It uses its bill as a probe to search for its next earthworm meal. Do you see that tree? Follow it up. There's a yellow-bellied sapsucker on the trunk. Since this woodpecker is migratory, we are more likely to see remnant evidence of its presence throughout most of the year. That evidence comes in the form of rows of holes drilled into the tree bark, which is a sign that a sapsucker was there feeding sometime before our arrival. Those holes provide food for the sapsucker as well as other animals like the ruby-throated hummingbird that we saw earlier. Often, we aren't lucky enough to see the actual woodpecker, but lucky us, it is migration and here is a yellow-bellied sapsucker hard at work. Out there, in the meadow, a bobolink! Male bobolinks like this one have a black belly and a white back, making it look as if the bird is wearing a tuxedo. If you cannot see the back, the creamy color of the cap on the back of its head is hard to miss. When they are not perched singing as this one is, they seem to disappear into the fields of grain that they are likely to forage on, making them easy to miss. I'm not sure if you can see it, but down in that shrub, there's a yellow warbler. Yellow warblers are insectivores. If you want to catch a neat look at this little bird that has been described as the same shade of yellow as butter, look for areas of higher insect activity. This shrub, right by a wetland, provides cover for the small bird, but also easy access to the many bugs that call the wetland home. Since they are insect eaters, you aren't likely to find them at backyard bird feeders. But at the peak of migration, a walk in most parks will give you a good chance of spotting this warbler. While they are predominantly yellow overall, you might also notice some rusty red to brown streaking on the chest of this bird, which sets it apart from other similarly yellow warblers. As with many birds, the call can be the one thing that clues us into a bird's presence. If you hear a short but sweet song that sounds as if the bird is saying, "Sweet, sweet, sweet, I'm so sweet," then odds are pretty good that this little yellow warbler isn't too far off. Yellow warbler, perched in a field, with black streaking, a black eye stripe, and an extra black stripe below the eye. This looks like a prairie warbler. A warbler with a green back, white belly with black streaks, yellow head, and a black throat. This is a black-throated green warbler. A yellow warbler with dark wings, white wing bars, and a dark eye stripe. It must be a male blue-winged warbler. Across the trail, in that tree, there's a scarlet tanager. Some say that the song of the scarlet tanager sounds like an American robin with a sore throat. It can be difficult to hear those subtleties initially, so listen instead for the chick-burr note that the scarlet tanager will inevitably sing. Most times, that call will lead your eyes up into the canopy as the scarlet tanager is not usually sitting down in an exposed branch at eye level like this male is. The females are far less showy than the bright red-bodied and jet-black winged and tailed males. If you're lucky enough to see a male scarlet tanager, there is no mistaking it for another migratory bird in this area. Like the yellow warbler that we just saw by the wetland, the scarlet tanager also feeds predominantly on insects. It will, however, also forage for berries and plant buds along the way. After a tasty meal, it is necessary to clean up. Unfortunately, birds don't have napkins or hands, but they do have branches. This scarlet tanager is cleaning up after its bug snack by wiping its beak on the branch, much like we would use a napkin. It is on to the next meal for this scarlet tanager and on to the next segment for us.
Thank you for joining us for this Bird is the Word wander through our Medina County parks. There's no better day than today to venture out on your own birding adventure. So grab your binoculars, head out to your favorite park, and with any luck, you just might catch a glimpse of one of these neat migratory birds.